First of all, I get it. It's valid, your feelings are valid. But girl, he cannot choose you unless you are choosing you. He cannot give you 100% if you are not giving yourself 100%. So
he cannot give you 100% unless you're giving yourself 100%. So what percentage does that leave the man with? What? What are you doing? Why are you telling people this? This is the type of advice that gets spread around these circles. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel. We have a few clips we're going to go over. These women are going to be giving us some advice on dating, some advice to other women. They are going to explain to us why men, which is me, why men are not approaching women, are not wanting to date women, and more importantly, are not wanting to marry these women, because that's, you know, we've talked, that's what women want. Women want the marriage, women want the assets, women want the position in order to divorce, to kind of get those assets and take the man for half of all the stuff. This is the American modern woman dream. So sit back, relax. We're going to go ahead and break this down. And at the very end, we actually have a Reddit story of a woman, which this was very interesting. I was reading through it. A woman who is in her early 20s who is having a hard time getting that guy. Okay, she's having a hard time getting men to date her, and she's doing all the right things. But we're going to read that. So go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. And hey, how's it going? My name's Ratboy. Let's get into it.
okay, besties, we need to have a little chat about relationships, and I don't know if you're gonna like this one. I have a lot of girlies in my comments, in my DMs, asking about their relationships or situationship, crying over a man, being upset that he is not choosing them, he is not putting 100% into the relationship. And first of all, I get it. It's valid, your feelings are valid. But girl, he cannot choose you unless you are choosing you. He cannot give you 100% if you are not giving yourself 100%. So
you blew it. Capiche?
He cannot give you 100% unless you're giving yourself 100%. So what percentage does that leave the man with? What? What are you doing? Why are you telling people this? This is the type of advice that gets spread around these circles where women have gaslit themselves into thinking that they need to be completely just self-involved with their being. They need to suck on themselves 24/7, but also they need to have their man invest 100% of his time into her as well. Well, what does that leave the man? This is why men just don't want to mess with girls. This is why men have just walked away and have given up, because of crap like this. A woman is sitting around expecting 100% of this man's time, energy, devotion, protection, provisions, and she is not expected to give him anything. Even worse than that, she is giving her 100% to herself. So she's getting 200%. The men are getting 0%. This is completely delusional. You're lost, and we're going to finish this TikTok so I can finish what I have to say. Let's continue.
some of you ladies, and I've done it too, are putting these men up on a pedestal above yourself, but these men cannot give you anything that you cannot already give yourself. And relationships are beautiful. I don't mean that you need to say men, but if you don't have self-love 100%, then someone can't love you 100%.
What the fuck?
You're completely delusional. This is insane. This is completely insane. The men that this woman is talking about, that she is putting up on a pedestal, whatever that means, because where I've been looking, men aren't on a pedestal. Okay, I don't see any pedestals around here. I actually see the exact opposite. I see men who are, like in my last video, treated like trash a majority of the time, and other women are looking at these pathetic men that can't even stand up for themselves. They don't even have enough self-respect to walk away from the women that are treating them like trash, but that's a completely different discussion. Other women are looking at this and be like, you know what? That's a good idea. Are you kidding me? No man with self-respect is going to put up with anything like this. Okay. Especially women like this, they're targeting the Chads. They're targeting the top percent. These men are yeah, this is ridiculous. Okay, any guy that has any sort of self-respect, that has his dignity intact, is not going to put the entirety of himself into a woman that is this selfish. This is ridiculous. Okay, I don't know how old this woman is, but she is potentially going to be alone for a very long time, because that is a horrible way to look at relationships. Give the man 0%, take 100%, and then invest in yourself only. That's not how any of this works.
If he doesn't want to wife you up, it's because he doesn't see you like that. Don't be confused. Don't think he's going through things. He's not going through things. He's not having a hard time in life. He just doesn't like you like that.
Shit.
And he might like you. He definitely might like you, but he doesn't like you enough. And that should be enough of a reason to exit if you want a relationship out of him. Because a man that doesn't like you enough will ruin your life if you like him too much.
Slip, slop, and date equals evil man.
These men like these women. Okay, these men like these women for very small blocks of time. And then these men will leave these women to go play PlayStation. It's the natural way. It is the natural way of things. This is a very interesting viewpoint because, you know, we can automatically assume that the types of men this person, the types of men this individual is talking about are going to be men that are completely out of her league. Okay, these are men that have all the options. They are going to get with someone like this when they're bored, just someone, you know, whenever they have a spare night of the week. And you know what? And some of these guys might even be in relationships with these women, but they're not going to marry these types of women. They're just not. There is nothing redeemable about women like this. You know, there is nothing that you can tell me, okay, about women like this. For normal men, there is nothing of value here, and that's okay. That's okay. They have their own, you know, there's going to be guys that will entertain her at some point for some amount of time. There might even be a guy, you know, these simps that might marry someone that's been ran through and stuff, and that's completely fine for them, I guess, as well. I would advise against it. I would advise any man against it, honestly, but you know, you can't help people that do not want to be helped. Okay, a simp is born every minute, and there's no doubt in my mind that a guy is probably waiting in the wings for this chick to just hit the wall, and then I guess wife her up after that. I don't know. To me, a woman like this, there is nothing redeemable about this. There is nothing attractive about this. It's basically just a headache. Spending time with someone like this, actually just watching that TikTok, I feel a headache coming on. Actually, you know what? She's gone, so it's better already.
Things I learned being a couples therapist for 35 years. If you can't commit to your partner, you're wasting their time. Exclusive is the bare minimum for commitment. It also means committing to treating them with respect and caring about how they feel, and doing anything and everything to avoid hurting them.
You know, and she's not completely wrong. Okay, this is a relationship. What kind of doctor did she say she was? She's a doctor, so she knows a little bit about this. And you know, she's been a doctor for 35 years. If you can't commit to to the one you're dating, then you're wasting their time. Isn't that what modern dating is? Isn't that what online dating is? You're just meeting random people, and you're swiping, and you're meeting, and you're banging, and you're dumping, and you're rinse and repeating. Isn't that just exactly what that is? There is no way for some of these men to have, you know, these top tier men to have the selection of women like they do on online dating apps. Okay, so I'm going to make the assumption and say that there are a lot of men on dating apps. I don't know the percentages. I'm saying there's a lot of guys on dating apps, and I can just assume that it's not good for their self-esteem. It's not good for a lot of aspects in their life, especially if, you know, these guys have been on dating apps for years at this point with no matches, nothing, no interest. Imagine what that does to a guy's self-esteem. Okay, you have women on here that are completely coping because the top tier dudes are just using them for, let's be honest, from what these men think women are good for, you know, the nighttime visits, and discarding them. They don't want relationships. They don't need relationships. They're good. They're completely good. And the rest of the men are looking at women like this and they're 100% okay with staying as far away from these types of women. And I absolutely do not blame them. Let's go ahead. Let's hop into this Reddit question here. We're going to try to help this individual with this question. Okay. Why are some of y'all on dating apps if you're too busy? It's a very good question. Let's read through this and let's see what's going on here. I'm 23 female and I'm tired. It seems like every guy I talk to is too busy to actually hang out. It keeps happening time and time again with every guy. Please help me understand what y'all expect to happen or even find a wife if y'all can't even make time for a date after a great combo with a girl. I talk to people for months and it's great, but they are too busy. Met another guy and gave him a heads up 2 weeks in that I'm giving him a month, and if we don't hang out by then I'm gone. At first he was like, I better get on it then. Yesterday he was like, we should just stop talking to them because I can't meet the deadline. First dates are quick and simple. It's just a quick meet and see if you like each other. Why are y'all making this so difficult? It makes me feel like shit and like no one will ever care about me. So this is a very interesting question here. And the question is up here at the top, why are some, I'm assuming men, why are some of these men on dating apps if they say they're too busy? Well, that's easy. Because dating apps are not for dating. Dating apps are for hooking up. So if you're looking for someone to marry and stuff, will it happen on a dating app? It has happened in the past. You know, there's a possibility it could happen in the future. Absolutely. The odds are not in your favor that it'll happen to you, especially a man. Me imagining a man getting on a dating app looking for a wife is kind of crazy to me. It is kind of crazy because I don't think men, a large majority of these men don't use dating apps for finding wives. Okay. If you're looking on a dating app to find a wife, that's kind of like looking in a dumpster to find a Michelin star meal. You know, it's just it's just not gonna happen. You'll find you might find something to eat in a dumpster maybe, but you're not gonna take it home with you. Okay, you're gonna leave it in the dumpster, you're gonna walk away and probably starve, because that's what men are choosing. Men are choosing to starve than to get stuff out of a dumpster. That's the reality of what's happening. Okay. And there have been the stories of the people that have met on Tinder. They've met on all these other dating apps, however many they are. There's so many now. It's crazy. And they're finding their husbands. They're finding their wives. And you know what? That's great. The percentage is super small. They're super lucky. And that is, I'm happy for them. Will it stand the test of time? Well, the odds and the statistics on that state, no, they won't. But in the moment, these couples are super happy. You know, they've realized their dream. They're doing everything they can. And then you have women like this. She's 23. She's trying to meet a guy. She's getting all these matches. She's getting all these conversations through the text, through the DMs. But let me tell you why. And this is the answer to the question. I think some of you guys know what I'm talking about. And I don't know what this woman looks like, but I am assuming that this woman is, you know, I don't have to say it, but you know what she is. Okay. These guys that she's matching with, she's saying it's every guy she's matching with, which is interesting because these guys she's matching with probably have a lot more options. Okay, she's matching with the top tier dudes, the dudes that she thinks she deserves, because her entire life she was told she was a beautiful and one of a kind, and any guy would be lucky to have her. But in reality, she's probably not that attractive and maybe a little bit overweight and probably talks weird. Like, who knows? Who knows what the situation is? Okay, but guys take all this into consideration whenever they're choosing someone to even meet at this point. Now, are you gonna be someone he can chat with when he's bored? Sure, you'll be in the DMs. But unless there's gonna be guaranteed nighttime visits, these guys are not gonna meet up with you because they'd be wasting their time. They'd be wasting their time 100%. So you have two choices, and women don't like to hear these choices, but I'm gonna go ahead and lay them out because just in case a woman is watching this video randomly, maybe she'll hear this. I don't know how many women watch my videos. It's like 0.001%, so like half a woman watches watches this stuff. But you have two options here. If you want these attentions from these chads, you can hook up with them. Okay, which is what a lot of women do. They realize they can't have a relationship with them. They can't have anything significant or substantial with them, so they just choose to be pumped and dumped and used like a $2 snot rack. I mean, that's fine. A lot of women do this. That's your first option. I would advise against it because that causes a lot of issues down the line. A lot of guys will start talking to you about your past. Oh, you've been on dating apps since your early 20s. Oh, you're almost 30. Oh, you have a 3-digit body count and loaded down with trauma and bad decisions. They're gonna pass. They're gonna pass. They're not gonna want anything with you because it's too much of a risk. Too much of a risk. These guys are not gonna be taking risks with 3s and 4s. It's just not gonna happen. The second option, and this is what I would advise women to do in this situation, is you need to really start to lower your standards, like really lower them down. Okay, because in your mind you are not you're not doing it you're not doing it right. Lower them standards down. Get someone that is on your level. Get someone that is even with you, and everything else will come naturally for you. I'd recommend finding this guy not on a dating app, but you can do whatever you want. But yeah, you need to find someone on your level. That would be my advice. Now, do women take this advice? No, this advice will never be taken by women because women feel like they don't need to lower their standards. They feel like that they've been through enough of the bad boys and the dudes that treat them like trash. They need a Prince Charming. They need the guy that will, you know, like in the movie Pretty Woman, that they need the Richard Gere to get him out of the streets. Well, guess what? that was a movie. That's not going to happen in real life. This is real life. Reality is here, not delusions. Okay. And also, you probably don't look like Julia Roberts.